in Chicago, we have yet another African-American who was shot and killed by cops. His name is Laquan McDonald. He was 17 years old. Now, in this case, he did have a knife. He was nowhere near the officers. He was nowhere near using it, but he was shot 16 times by Jason Van Dyke. Now, that officer has been charged, so that is good news. They kept a video of that shooting for over a year. They did not release it to the public. That is not good news. That is very bad news. The reason for that is the video is terrible, as you're about to see. Now, before I show you the video, let me tell you what the Chicago Police Department reported back in October 20th of 2014 when the shooting actually happened. On the October 21st edition of the Chicago Tribune, they had the cop side. Now, if there was no video at all, this is the only account we would have had, and do you think he would have been charged? The account was, they explained that Laquan McDonald had, he's got a 100-yard stare. He's staring blankly. He walked up to a car and stabbed the tire of the car and kept walking. We'll see if that happens in the video. And then, quote, the boy allegedly lunged at the police and one of the officers opened fire. Wow. Well, the cops are always telling the truth, right? I mean, we've got to trust them. We can't trust them. Well, we can't get Laquan's side of the story because he's dead, right? So that's all we would have had. Well, what are the cops going to do? He's got a knife and he lunged at him. Okay, now I'm going to show you the video and show you what actually happened. Okay, now, warning, kid's going to get shot here 16 times. There's no audio on it, but let's watch together. So there you see him jogging. The cops are coming around. Now, the relevant officer is going to come in a little bit, and I'm going to tell you the timing here that's very, very important. So they tell him to stop. Boom. Officer Van Dyke had a Glock 19. He unloaded all 16 bullets in the gun. You can see in the video there smoke coming out of the body as he continues to shoot when McDonald's clearly on the ground. I mean, if you didn't think he was dead, which would have been shocking, by the way, all 16 bullets hit him. Only 2 of them hit him when he was standing. The other 14 were when he was already on the ground. If you weren't positive that he was dead, did you really think after taking, what, 2 bullets, 12 bullets, that he was going to get up and somehow pose a danger to your health? Did you really think that? No, you didn't. Now, here's, in my opinion, the most relevant fact, other than the obvious video. Officer Van Dyke shot McDonald within 30 seconds of arriving on the scene and within 6 seconds of getting out of his car. 6 seconds. So, did he give him an adequate chance to surrender? On what planet does anybody think that was an adequate chance to surrender? In 6 seconds or less, he shoots him 16 times. Why do you think African Americans are protesting throughout the country? Because this is their experience. We just never got to see the video before. And then the cops would say he was lunging at the officers, and we had. Did he look anywhere near the officers to you there? I mean, we have eyes. We can see it. Although, if you, as you're going to see with the defense attorney in a second, he thinks he can trick us that we don't have, powers of observation on that. Now, before I get to that, and let me just note again the earlier report by the cops to the Chicago Tribune. Oh, he had a 100-yard stare. We kill people for the wrong kind of stare now? Apparently we do. And by the way, you think, well, his back was to him for a long time. I mean, for however long it was, right? Why did you shoot the guy when the kid's back is to you, right? Because we look at that and go, why would you shoot someone in the back? That's the problem, right? But no, but you're missing it. The biggest crime in America is disrespecting a police officer. They told him to put it down. They told him to stop. He dared to turn around on them? No. It can't be tolerated. You put him down. And that's what Van Dyke did. Now, has Van Dyke had issues before? Van Dyke has had 18 complaints on his record for infractions, including excessive force an illegal arrest. Yeah. Okay. By the way, this is a picture of Van Dyke in another incident. Okay, so that guy's charging at you. Don't turn your back. Well, you see what happens. Okay. Now, I'm sure that with 18 complaints for excessive force, illegal arrest, etc., they must have disciplined him before. You know how this is going to go. He was never formally disciplined before McDonald's death. In fact, he was still getting paid when the cops had the video. The authorities had the video. They're sitting on it for a year. He's still getting paid doing desk duty. Finally, they charged him. Okay, thank God for that. But that's only because the judge said, you have to release the video. There's a Freedom of Information Act request. There is no reason why the government should hold that video and not release it. They're like, yeah, we meant to charge him with homicide. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, let's go for it. Now the FBI is involved, etc. If we didn't have the video, what do you think would have happened? He was lunging. Oh, and there was drugs in his system. Yeah, he might have been acting erratically because he was high. That's not a reason to shoot someone. But they would have closed it up. PCP in his system, had a knife. We claim he lunged. Done. That's why you need the video. But his lawyer, the cop's lawyer, decides, no, the video is going to be misleading. Really? Well, tell us how.
At first, seeing it, it's difficult to explain. However, after watching it several times, and most importantly, getting the perspective of my client, that is when I came to the conclusion that his actions were justified. The video alone, it's not enough to make the determination that that one officer's perspective was the same as my client's, because video, no matter how clear it is, there are problems with video. And most important, I think, is the fact that video by its nature is two-dimensional and it distorts images. So what appears to be clear on a video sometimes is not always that clear.
You needed 3 dimensions. You needed to be in virtual reality. You know what distorts the image? When you lie about what happened and not release the video. That really distorts the image. When we actually see it with our own eyes, he's like, don't believe your lying eyes. That's very distorting. You should always believe the cops. Yeah. And CNN, by the way, a lot of people have CNN in the corner of the restaurant, whatever it is, place of business. Giant headline there, it's officer, the attorney, I'm sorry, basically saying, shooting was justified. Don't help him out by writing that, okay? So here's a guy making a preposterous case on CNN that you shouldn't believe your lying eyes. And don't give him the benefit of that graphic. It's very, very frustrating. Okay, so now, what's the real issue at hand here? Is this a one-time thing? How many new videos do we have to show you guys before you realize it's not a few bad apples? In fact, let me go to one of those bad apples, and he explains it about the police culture in Chicago specifically. It's a guy named Jerome Finnegan. Now, in an 18-year career, this cop had 68 civilian complaints against him. Was there ever any action taken? None. Finally, they caught him, not because he was robbing the drug dealers and robbing suspects and doing illegal arrests and beating the crap out of people. No. He decided to put a hit on a fellow police officer. Oh, no, that's it. You're done. Okay, so then they arrested him. And here's what he said. My bosses knew what I was doing out there, and it went on and on. And this wasn't the exception to the rule. This was the rule. It's not a few bad apples. It's the orchard. Okay, now let me give you more examples about how they let him get away with it. This is a study, okay, from 2011 to 2015, 97% of more than 28,500 citizen complaints resulted in no officer being punished, according to the files. The University of Chicago did an analysis on that. 97% of the time, yeah, citizens, piss off, not interested. Ha, yeah, by the way, you're going to be shocked to find out that if the complaint was against a black officer, it was twice as likely to be taken seriously and to take action on it. And if the complaint came from a white person, it was far more likely to be acted upon than if it came from a black person. Okay. Now, remember, they're hardly ever taking any action on any of the complaints anyway, right? Well, is it getting better? Because the Chicago PD said, oh, it's getting much better. So I'm sure that was, to be fair, that was 2011 to 2015. That sounds pretty recent. But let's go to the 2015 numbers. The data for 2015 shows that in more than 99% of the thousands of misconduct complaints against Chicago police officers, there has been no discipline. It got worse in 2015. 99% of the time, nope, cops are awesome. No, you're lying. Cops are right. You must have lunged. Yeah, you shouldn't have turned your back. You shouldn't have disrespect. You had it coming. 99% of the time. Gee, I wonder why people are protesting all over the country. And then the Chicago Police Department had the temerity to put out this statement. The force had become a positive national and international model for preventing police misconduct and investigating allegations. A model, an international model. Okay, so listen, guys. It is the training. It is the police culture. It's not that police are naturally bad people. That is an absurd claim. And you know, all this talk of generalizing and stereotyping is always wrong. But when you talk about the root causes of things and you investigate how people are trained and what they are taught, what they are programmed to believe, that's what matters. And the cops are taught never take any risks with your life. The guy's got his back to you, who cares? He's totally far away from you, who cares? Wait a minute? Wait 20 minutes? There was a case in 2011 in Britain. Guy's wielding a machete against the cops. He's swinging at the cops with a machete, he almost hits him, right? You know what they do? They wait for 20 minutes. They bump him with a garbage can. He drops the machete. They arrest him. In Chicago, they would have murdered him. 20 minutes! Who's got time? We got to go get a coffee break. Shoot him dead and let's move on with our lives. The second part of that equation is there's never going to be accountability. Shoot them all. You're never going to be held accountable. So, oh, shoot, this time there was a video. Damn it, we hate the video. We hate the video. Oh, you're activists by showing people the video of what cops are doing on our behalf. They're government employees, right? We pay their salaries through our taxes. And they go and shoot the civilians, and then they turn around and say, how dare you look at it? This is why we want to look, because you've been getting away literally with murder. You got to fix the training. You got to fix the culture. Yes, cops in other parts of the world know that it's a dangerous job, and sometimes they risk their health or their well-being a little bit to make sure that they don't kill someone in cold blood. Yes, sometimes they wait more than 6 seconds before emptying 16 bullets into a guy, 14 of which came when he was already on the ground. No. This is unacceptable. We've got to fix the training. So accountability, and tell them, for God's sake, tell them to put their hands up. Wait. And disrespecting an officer is not a crime, and certainly not a crime worth executing someone over. And that's what happened here.